Well, it's one of the first days after Christmas. So not the first day, but what I'm running right now is the first service day after holiday. And if you're in garbage, you know what that means. If you are not in garbage, well, that's a little preview of what it could mean. We're only 2 stops into the route, so I think what I'll do for this video, or try to do, is just hypercut or just do little snapshots of the route as I go. I had the fever, flu a couple days ago. It was bad, so I'm probably at about 80% of what I was, or 80% of healthy. I don't know. We'll see how this goes, but already I'm looking at this and being like, oh boy. At least we got bagged and tied. And I gotta turn back because I don't want to snag one of those bags with the fingers, because I can't see them in the mirror. Maybe you got the perspective with that camera angle. Like, you can't see the bags. You know what I'm saying? So, those personal cans, if you've been watching a lot, you know I'm not a big fan of personal cans. They break easy, kind of tippy. And if you don't know, but trash does not need to be sat close to its other friends. They don't need to be touching. You know, a little bit of distance helps. These personal cans are just kind of clumsy for trash service, even for rear loaders. Kind of, blech. Okay, so usually the rule is I'll charge for $3 for a personal can, or if I can grab trash with the arm. And then $5 if I get out. So I could have charged $8 there. But I'm going to charge $5 because I do like that it's all bagged and tied. If you're new here and you're about to get upset because you're like, you charged for the trash outside the cart? Yes. And I think you'll say, well, I pay you to pick up my trash, or my tax dollars pay to... None of that matters. We do not get tax dollars for this service. Private company. So the idea is we provide the carts, trash goes in the cart, and we can service that quickly and safely. I know it's one of the most unpopular opinions of mine, but I'll stick to it because for small trash companies, you really gotta mind your minutes and your pennies, because the little things do add up. So if the truck is stopping a lot and you're adding more weight and more time, it gets expensive. Yeah. This is, like I said, you don't have to have trash touching each other. I understand. It's garbage. I'll figure it out. A lot of cardboard. We do offer recycling, but you're not required to take it. This is about 13 stops in, and we've already had 3 decent sized piles on the ground. Let's see what we can get. Might be able to grab that too, but I'm going to move this cart out of the way. So everything's got to be touching, it seems like. good cardboard, it won't tear or puncture. I gotta be able to squeeze it, but not like tear through it. Okay, that was nice. Now this one's twisted a little bit, which I don't mind. I can squeeze those corners in. It's got some weight though. You can see it's starting to flex and dip. It's got a load. No, dang it. They wanted to make this one interesting. It's like, well, it's not on the ground. It's on the cart, not in the cart. You know, where are we at? Got a little bit of gray area. That's one of those things where I'm talking to other people in the trash. It's like, yeah, I know it's risky when you start permitting that little bit of gray area. Some companies are pretty aggressive where it's like, nope, trash is in the cart, the lid is closed, nothing else. And the reason that rule exists and why it's that aggressive is it eliminates any of that fuzzy gray area stuff, you know, like that. That's the example of the fuzzy gray area. Yeah, we're only 19 stops into the route. We got 740. We might not be able to do it that way all day. It's gonna be a long friggin' day. I had a flu or recovering from flu. You know, I ran a little bit the day I had flu. That was bad. Ooh. That's the DEF, I think, or regen wanting to kick in. Tight bags on the ground, I guess we'll allow it. Gray area. I mean, no, it's not a gray area. It's on the ground, but we shouldn't allow it. Look how nice that is. Just two carts, just placed nicely together. Maybe a little bit more space would be ideal. If I got that top mirror, I can kind of look down on those carts instead of like trying to look you know, from the side. I've explained it in other videos, but that higher perspective makes it kind of easier to separate that gap. Two carts correctly placed, that's nice. That services really well. Ugh. Okay. I mean, I do appreciate it's all in containers. This one's backwards. Those two are, I could try to grab both of those at the same time, except they're flimsy. They'll fall apart. I don't want them to fall in either. That's nice. See how that's hanging on the thing? It's also got a sticker saying, point the arrows to the street. Yeah, we'll try it. I'm not a fan of this. It's kind of working. Yeah, it worked. A little space would be nice. A giant robot arm that needs to have a little bit of room. It's alright, we could do surgery with this thing. But we shouldn't. Actually, that would kill people. That's a terrible idea. Don't do that. Yeah, it's hardly worth recording, but it is on the ground, so it is part of the criteria, I thought, of making that highlight. I still don't know how this video is going to turn out. I bet I could have got that bag to fit. If it was my garbage, I'm gonna get my kid out here and stomp it in if I had to. But we could get it to fit. That's kind of one of the reasons why we started to charge when trash was on the ground. Like we had always, even before I got to Sanitation, it kind of been a policy that they would charge for trash outside the cart. They just never really enforced it. When we went automated, I was the one who got a little more aggressive about it, saying it really needs to be done if we want people to use these carts to make automation work. Because even when it would fit, people would throw trash on the ground. I mean, it's like, that's just not a good look for anybody, homeowners or neighbors, community as a whole. So, I don't know. At least that's one perspective. This is very doable. It's always tricky trying to grab trash as you turn. Barrel kind of works. The reason I kind of have an aversion to personal cans is a lot of people get cheap stuff, real flimsy. That barrel might hold up in the cold. There's some plastic, when it gets cold enough, it gets brittle. It just starts cracking. People are like, hey man, why'd you break my can? It's like, well, why'd you set it up for trash? That's not really, I can't. I'm still getting over that flu. I can tell. Because trying to run this and talk, my brain is not multitasking very well. So hopefully the pictures are telling more of a story than I can. Oh, I can feel it in my sinuses yet. That stuff is just still kind of like lingering. And it's not painful, it's just bleh. Yeah, that's getting a little annoying. I think what I'll do is, I only like to get out of the truck once if I have to. It's like pulling the brake, jumping in and out, pulling the brake, jumping in and out. I'm not a fan of that. So I'm going to park at the neighbors because they got a pile. And then I'll walk back and grab these cardboard. Let's switch it to double pack already. It's early in the day. Easier to get those to and it was never opened. I don't want to throw away something that was never opened. Don't make sense. I don't know. That didn't take long. It's actually just 3 stops in a row. The ones I just did, they're like a couple hundred feet back there. Like I'm still cycling the trash from that extra cardboard that I picked up. Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. So far, we're not doing too bad on time. Been on route for maybe 40 minutes. Ooh, 56 stops. We're a little slower. This route, usually the first hour I do 100 stops an hour. So I am not doing that right now. I'll update in about an hour. We're at the hour mark. Tight is nice. See if I can get that cardboard to flip the other way. Maybe not. Oh, now I gotta get out. See how I waffle cone that a little with the cardboard? Cardboard sticks out the top a little bit, cradles it like a waffle cone. That's how you do it. Yeah, we got this place 3 carts a while ago, and they've been knocking it out of the park as far as placement goes. Just the right amount of space, wheels to the house, everything's just perfectly fluid. That represents the perfect example how you want trash to go if people are going to have more trash than what can fit into one cart. And we're coming into about an hour onto this route. I usually hit 100 stops an hour on the first hour, and we're at stop 92. So we're 8 stops slower than the average. Those 8 stops normally would have been ran by now, but if you look at the amount of time I spent getting out of the truck, cleaning up the extras on the ground, then we'd be on normal pace. Blah blah. Yeah, I mean you can fill in the gaps. This whole narration post. Anyway, for the average person, I think you kind of know where I'm getting at. The next type of audience I have, I know there's other haulers out there, and they get upset. There's some guys that kind of have this machismo factor, where it's like, oh, it's all got to be done rear load like a man, and customer service, we pick up all the trash on the ground for free because that's our job, blah blah blah. And what I would like them to take away from something like this, whether you're side load or rear load, or even the front load with the Corrado can, those exist. Know your value. Having your guys picking up trash off the ground and adding your weight and adding the time, that adds to your cost. And if you're not charging for that cost, you're not really putting the value or the right value on what you do. And companies will take those shortcuts, not charging for trash on the ground, and then they wonder why they can't afford to give their guys the benefits they deserve, or upgrade the trucks they need to upgrade. It's like, dude, you gotta charge what you're worth. That's one of the takeaways. We're an hour in, we've already lost probably 10% of our efficiency. Which means I've added I'm still clearing that crap out. I've added to the cost of the operation. Everything's taking longer and adding more weight. And if we're tax-based revenue or tax revenue funded, maybe it's a different story. But we're not. We don't have that luxury. We got costs we gotta operate within. I don't know if this video is gonna turn out well. I don't know. Maybe my point will get made. Obviously these things are not scripted. When I start a route, it's like we're gonna see what we can get, and I'm gonna wing it. This could be done. I think we can get this all done with the arm. So the containers are out. That container, an old one, we can still get it serviced. Bagged and tied, pretty awesome. Makes that a little nicer. We got the can. It's got a bag. I almost would have just preferred 2 large bagged, tied trash bags. But see how like that? It's like getting pinched in there. Come on, there we go. Yeah. Those are my least favorite personal cans. It's got that lid that doesn't want to come off. Usually I'm quicker with this. There we go. Because as you would probably guess, if you tip it with the lid still on, the lid goes in the hopper. And then the customer comes out and goes, "What? What happened?" It's gone. That one box is teetering just a little bit. There we go. Nope. Oh, wow. Oh, it's barely. It's that transition where it gets a little shaky. And it went. This is an example of somehow organically people have gotten the idea where, well, it doesn't count as garbage unless it's touching the garbage can. And I don't know where that came from, because it was not me. I did not convince people of that, because I don't want it touching the garbage can. I want space. Lots of space. Here we are. Bagged and tied is all good. Let's see what we can grab. Nope, not tied. Someone's not watching my videos. Alright, I'm rolling up into the second hour of the day, and we're 190 stops in, so I have not lost that much overall. I started off thinking I should be doing 100 stops an hour. That first hour we lost some time cleaning up piles. The second hour I haven't had as many piles, but this neighborhood, I don't know, maybe this neighborhood that I've worked myself over into is not the one where people have their Christmas get-togethers, right? So there'll be some other neighborhoods at different hours of the day where there's, you know, bigger homes, bigger lots. People can all park their cars there and host at that place. Maybe we'll see bigger piles there. Oh, here we go. That's the piles I was talking about. Look at that. We're not going to get that styrofoam with the arm. That's not possible. That's not bad. I just recorded one where I get out to put a box in at the top of a cart, and there's plenty of room. I suppose. Let's see how that goes. I have to sticker one of these. Okay, we're 3 hours into the route, so about 8:25. We are at stop number 275. We're getting a phone call. We're going to test the strength of those bags. They got that little flex, whatever they call it. Flex fit? No, I don't know what they call it. Something. They're supposed to flex them before they tear. We're about to find out. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Give them some props on that. My neck's gonna be shredded at the end of the day. It's not a big deal a few times a day, but doing it quite a bit because it goes outside when they're further away from the curb, it's harder to find them in the mirror. Oh, I lost that one. Okay, so it is 9:38. We kind of skipped the 4-hour mark update because ran to the transfer station and unloaded. We're on stop 350. So 4 hours, 350. That's not a little. Well, we're over 4 hours. We lost 20 or 30 minutes going to the transfer station. So we are below 90 stops an hour, which is not bad. On an average, maybe I'd still be maintaining at 90 some stops an hour. But considering Christmas, we're not doing too bad. Actually, we're doing much better than I thought. I will say though, at 350 stops, we have 392 cycles on the arm. 42 extra cycles on the arm. Now, some people have multiple ace carts, which is great. But a lot of what's happening is me refilling or tipping personal carts like we see here. Another factor is everybody's got trash out. On any average week, there's going to be a certain number of stops that, maybe they didn't have enough trash. They forgot to set it out, and it's not a big deal they forgot to set it out. They're like, we got room for next week. That's not happening this week. So everybody has got trash out. So there's going to be a little bit more volume, a little more cycles. Because after 350 stops, I would have expected the number of cycles on the arm to be about 365. An extra 15, 20 cycles on the arm. Or extra 42 cycles on the arm. So there's a little extra garbage out there. That's why I like to see those extra cans out. With a hinge, so it's attached. The lid will open. Got some space between the personal can and our can. That, if you're gonna have a personal can, that's 10 out of 10 how to do it. tied garbage too. Not impressed. If he's not watching our content, it could have fooled me. It looks like he saw all the notes I've put on videos. I never know why some people will tie one bag and not the other. I don't get that. So we'll put that there. And then I'm using that paddle on the grips to... There we go. That's what I wanted. It's not a bad day so far. For getting over the flu a couple days ago, we're doing all right. About 80% of where I was at before. Because I came in and ran a route for a little bit when I had the flu, and that was a terrible idea. That was just not comfortable. I don't know. A lot of you might not get computer analogies with, you know, open up the task manager and see your CPU or memory running at maximum capacity just when it opens up a Word document. That's what it kind of felt like with the flu. God, that box is just barely gonna make it. There we go. That's what it felt like the other day. Just doing one thing at a time was exhausting. So I ran a few stops and then told Mitchell, like, bro, this is bad. Heavy plastic and tied. I could almost do this all day because you never have to spend the time to put the can back. You could almost go faster. But you would never expect 100% of compliance of people tying bags. Really wanted to make that one a puzzle. Let's see, we'll do this. And with personal cans, I don't care if they're still standing when I leave. I prefer they're standing, but they're so sketchy. You know, with my cans, I can nudge them around a little bit. I'm surprised that one's still standing. And, I got a grip override on so the grips don't over squeeze when it goes up. That's always risky because if you don't squeeze it enough, it could fall in. If you squeeze it too tight, the trash doesn't come out. We're getting it done. See, if I turn grip override off, you can't see it, but as the arm goes up right there, that's when it's going to start squeezing harder automatically. And you don't see it crush the can because the can's built for it, whereas those other ones, well, you know, slope driveways are a bit of a trick. Come on. Come on. There we go. Whoop. Come on. That. Well. There. Stay. Kind of lose the personal can behind ours. I use that top mirror, and you know, there's a perfect amount of space between the can and the cart we provide. It's just that ours is so much bigger, kind of gets a blind spot, and we dropped one. Turn off auto pack. Bring this down. Doesn't look heavy, at least. Oh no, that's full of like empty boxes are styrofoam. It's a nice touch. So I kind of missed my 5-hour update. I got caught up into the route a little bit. But 5 hours into the route, oh man, that can's always so... There's a stop over there that I think I've stickered it. They still put that can. Oh, come on. One thing at a time right now. Across the street, I think I stickered that can. But they'll put it like 12 foot, 3 inches up the driveway. And I got a 12-foot arm. Anyway, 5 hours into the route, 416 stops, so that's about 83 stops an hour. We definitely slowed down a little bit. I've gotten 494 cycles on the arm. Yikes. Yeah, that's right. That's what it is. So a lot of extra cycles on the arm. Yeah, I don't know. I keep thinking I'm going to make these things more enthusiastic, but that flu just sucked the life and joy out of me for a while. Little bit of a trick. Put that there. I'm going to nudge it out of the way so I don't bump it again. Done that before. What's up?
I'm following on YouTube and Instagram.
Oh yeah, nice.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise. Yeah, thanks for watching. Well, that was fun. I think that's the first time someone said, no, there was a couple other guys that said they've seen me en route. Just know that if you approach the truck or you got a suggestion or idea, I'm open to hear it. Just understand it could be like 5 hours into a route and the only person I've talked to is myself. So the software in my brain that runs sociability might take a little bit to boot that up. It's like, oh, hey, awesome. Yep. Thanks, I guess. You know. But no, for real, that's cool. It's kind of fun to have someone say they appreciate your content. Because I'm just winging it. I really don't know what I'm doing. That box fell off this box when I was trying to grab them all. We can still save this. There we go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Well, there we go. There we go. Want to make sure we know what we're doing. Whenever someone's coming in and out of the street, I always like to make eye contact. So it's like, hey, we both see each other and kind of understand what's going on. That's what's kind of nice. Because, even though technically he's the competition, still don't want to hit him with my truck. That's a problem. Just for me as a personal, moral problem and, legal issue, it's kind of a problem. It's hard to use that top mirror to line up that personal can when it's close like that, because you can just touch those cans and they tip over, and there's some loose trash in there. So you really want to get it right. Yeah, I'm not going to charge for this. That's perfect. That's so perfect. That's one of, like, if the guy that said, "Hey man, I watch your content," and this was his place, I'd be like, "You definitely need to," 'cause that's perfect. I don't think this guy watches though. Go in reverse. I mean, I will at times, but preferably you don't want to go backwards with the garbage truck. This is like an industry mantra. Like, in reality, I can do it right now without much of a risk of an incident, but there's just a mantra, almost like a religion. You know, don't go backwards unless you have to. Alright, 6-hour update. We are on stop number 502, going to 503, and we have 578 cycles on the arm. So 75 extra cycles on the arm for the route. But 500 stops in 6 hours comes out to probably 83 stops, 83 point something stops per hour. Certainly slower than the average. I always like to keep it above 90. It's not going to happen today. Unless you go off the cycles on the arm. You got 580 cycles on the arm. Definitely got over 90 cycles an hour on the arm, so there's that. It's just a lot of containers to be tipped. If people have trash service, they are setting it out. There's not a lot of people saying don't need service. Not sure what to make of this one. Like, if one container slides out of the other and falls in, does that mean it's garbage? There's a box stuck in there. I don't want to beat that one up too much and then have someone say, "Hey, you broke my can." I don't know. It's kind of a trap. This actually looks pretty easy. We'll just give this one a hug. Oh yeah, that's light. Look at that. But it's all bagged and tied. Oh, Merry Christmas to me. Oh, look at that. Look at this. I met this lady like one time, and she said like please and thank you. And I'm a total sucker for that. So I don't even charge in some of those areas. I've discussed this before about driver discretion. I'm a huge sucker for please and thank you. And there's some stuff, like there's a policy and then there's what the driver enforces. I don't know if enough people know that, not just with our area, but just garbage in general. There's a lot of things where you call the office will tell you one thing, and then you talk to the driver, and driver's like, "Yay, if you're cool, we can find some wiggle room." What? Yeah, I'm cleaning up a pile right now. A bunch of cardboard all stacked. I got everything except for one collapsed piece of cardboard. Wow. I cleaned up all of Christmas. Ahead of my packer a little bit. Tip two ace cards and 2 personals. The packer's like, give me a minute. This is a lot to swallow. And I need to be able to chew it. Got another pile. Ow. go, you're lazy, you just don't want to get out of the truck. Exactly. That's exactly why I don't want to get out of the truck. It's like I got 740 stops, probably going to finish with 860 cycles on the arm. Why do I want to do more? We're starting to get rain, so the cardboard people are setting out is getting a little soggy. Yeah. I am, let's see, it's 12:25. 7 hours into the route. We are 584 stops, 670 cycles. It's like you won't know it's trash if it's not touching the trash cart. Space between the trash and the trash cart. Most days I have a good range. That's gonna stab the cardboard. Oh, we got it. I think we got it. We got it. Gotta reconnect. I'm back. Are you there? I won't be able to record as much as I had hoped today because the camera's running out of room. But I really wanted to capture this stop because it's like just makes my day. I don't know if they watch the content. This is like really generous with the amount of space they have between trash and personal cans and the cart provided. Like that's awesome. Just give him all the room he could possibly need. Makes everything serviced really well. Get Christmas cleaned up, and boom, just call that done. Doesn't watch the content. Not that much. There we go. A little too much. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. Now we're really just gonna mess stuff up. Alright. That's cool. Alright, I got like 3 minutes left before the camera's full. We are on the last stop, so 746 stops. At about 2:15 in the afternoon. Normally I finish this about 40 minutes earlier. But of the 746 stops, we have 850 cycles on the arm. Yikes. Next one's not out. So 104 extra cycles on the arm compared to stops. So the number of stops we have, extra 104 cycles on the arm. So there's a little bit extra trash today.